Hey, what's going on, Daisy family? Jeremy Edward Helia here, along with Daniil, and we realized we made some very important announcements today without giving much explanation or detail, and a lot of folks are asking questions, and we want to just clarify the exact situation, answer the questions that we've been receiving from a lot of the leaders and make sure everybody understands exactly the situation. It's where we are going next in this community is truly something that has never been done before. If you guys remember all the way back to our first appearance on the Burj Khalifa in 2021 in Dubai, the words that echoed in that video, we were all born to do what has never been done. And there's a truth to that on the deepest of levels. Just like a fingerprint, every fingerprint is unique. Every life lived has an expression, has an element of thoughts and ideas and contribution of their energy to be creators in this world, to do big things, to turn the invisible into visible, to have an imagination, an idea, a dream, a vision about our lives, and to turn that into reality. And we're going to be sharing some things at our next global event. We're going to be taking a step into what we believe is the biggest breakthrough that we've ever seen as a community. We believe with all of our hearts that we have laid and the next 6 months continue to lay the foundation to build what is going to become the largest legacy project team community company in the peer-to-peer industry. What's coming next is going to be the most disruptive thing. Everything, all roads lead to this next event, August 17th in Las Vegas. And I wish we could disclose more right now. We can't. It would be crazy if we did because it's just too big to let the cat out of the bag. But we promise you what's coming next is going to make history. It's going to change the industry forever. And we are going to go down in the history books as true disruptors, as a community of leaders in this industry. And so right now is a very key moment. It's a very key moment for all of us. We have an opportunity right now for those that wish to exit the Daisy crowd fund. Our commitment has always been to deliver on promises, that when we say something, we're impeccable with our words. And even when there's challenges that arise, we make it through those challenges in order to deliver on those promises. And I think everyone would agree that as a community, we have gone above and beyond time and time again to make that a reality to the best of our ability. And so one of the promises that we've made to the community is you will have the opportunity to exit Daisy completely when the crowd fund ends. And we're going to talk more about that today and deliver on that promise. For those that continue forward with us, it's so imperative to understand that it's not just about who we are and what we have today. It's not just about having access to this platform and the trading performance and this exciting new closed private fund that we are going to be launching. This is exciting, but you get to be a part of something so much bigger. Now, let's say this, regardless of whether you choose to exit Daisy right now or stay in Daisy, that's entirely up to you. We're not saying you should stay or you should exit. That's your decision to make. Regardless, you're a part of this community. You're in the genealogy. Your wallet is on the blockchain. You can participate with us right now in the Limitless Crowd Fund and reap the benefits of this project that we're launching right now. You can join us in Vegas, and you're already positioned in the genealogy to be a part of our next big launch that's happening in Las Vegas in August. And so it's your decision to make. If you want to exit right now, we just want to make sure, and the reason we're doing this video again is we want to bring clarity to what is happening right now, what it looks like for those that choose to remain, those that choose to exit, what those details are. And more importantly, what we realized this morning is we didn't provide a lot of explanations about how this came about. How did we get to this moment? How did we get forced, and it's the only word to use, to make this decision at the last minute as it relates to the weekly withdrawals? So we want to address some of those issues today with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. It won't be a long call, but we do want to just cover and share with you everything that we can share with you in a setting like this, and looking forward to it. So Edward, Ilya, good to see you guys again. Daniil, it's probably late for you, so thank you for being up with us here today. And I'll shut up and let you guys say hello to everybody before we get into the information.
Yeah, take some break.
As you speak, I start smiling. I look at Ilya and he's sleeping. You like really.
Yeah, it's like really late for me. And I look at Daniil. I never seen Daniil like this. Usually he's like more official in his office, but now with this like in background. Yeah, but we needed to record this call like really, like you said, to clarify on some things, because we obviously we missed on some explanation. Some people, they didn't even join us on today's global call, right? So that's why we decided to record it and just post it.
Absolutely. So there's three things that we touched on today, and we'll just go through them one by one. We wrote some notes down just to make sure that we don't miss anything. So first things first, that's the compromised wallets. And we'll go back and revisit that conversation. There's an enormous amount of people in the community who just maybe didn't understand security and how to protect their private keys and their word phrases. Because anyone who has access to those private keys has access to your wallet. And we realized that more recently, there's been a lot of hackers. There's been fake accounts created, pretending to be the three of us, pretending to be Caroline, pretending to be the Daisy bot. And many people fell victim to those scams where they were able to, or they turned over their private keys. Many people don't have the proper security maybe on their devices, and someone was able to hack that information for whatever reason. We have many members in the community who contributed to the crowdfunding. And not only have these thieves, that's the only word to use, these thieves who've stolen their wallets, taken access to their weekly withdrawals every week, but they've also gained access to all of the rewards, all of the compensation from the hard work that these individuals put in to building Daisy. And there's been nothing that we could possibly do about that until the crowdfunding ended. When the smart contracts were live, when they were operating, when everything was engaged, we did not have the possibility to help those individuals out and to change their wallets. Now that the crowdfunding phase has ended, we've had meetings with the tech team as well as a new security team. And we have a process that will allow someone who's had their wallet compromised to be able to give a new wallet, and through that new wallet, be able to have access to everything related to our community. And one thing I guess, Ilya, maybe you want to jump in and say about that. It's very important that the new wallet address that is created is not created from the same root wallet as your current wallet, because you'll have the same seed phrase, and that seed phrase will unlock your previous wallet as well. So Ilya, what's the best way for someone to set up a new?
Yeah, Jeremy, I do believe that there are two options. One is just to set up new wallet on a different device, or use different application, like instead of TronLink using Token Pocket or something, right? Or just remove an existing wallet from TronLink and installing it again. So, but this is very important because many people, they don't pay attention. And by doing this, providing new wallet with the same seed phrase will obviously only help those thieves, right? Bad actors to get access to your new wallet as well, right? So it doesn't make any sense.
So the best way to do it is to set it up on a separate device, maybe your spouse's device, for example. You can import the wallet to your device. So you can take the private keys or the seed phrase and import the wallet. That's fine. But you want to create the wallet from a separate device than what you used for your original wallet to make sure that it's a new set of keywords.
Yes.
In the process, and we want to make sure to prepare everyone for this, there will be a verification and security process, because again, we have to verify that you are in fact the owner of that wallet, right? And so we have a security team. There'll be a KYC process. There'll be a confirmation process, even with your sponsor and the upline leaders that you've been working with to verify your identity. There'll be a full IP search through the blockchain as to where transactions have taken place, not just from, but what type of device has been used, et cetera, et cetera. And there'll be a process, right? It'll be an extensive process to make sure that there'll be a research team on the blockchain to verify that, in fact, someone has been stealing those funds. Now, there's a second group of people, and that's not those that have a compromised wallet, but those that have lost their wallet, right? And this is not as common of a situation, but it has happened. There's people who have lost their phones, for example, and they didn't know, they never saved their key phrase or their seed phrase or their private keys, and their device is gone and their wallet is gone forever. And nobody's stealing their funds. Their funds are just growing and growing and growing. They've never had an opportunity to even access those funds. And we're going to be able to help those individuals as well. That second group of people, will make an announcement in another week or two on where you can go, because you don't even have the ability to log into your Daisy back office. So we'll have a second option for you to be able to submit your information, and we'll be able to move forward with that second group. But right now, the first group is the big concern, because we are opening up for people to be able to exit Daisy, which means they have the ability to withdraw the entire amount that's in live trading. And we want to make sure, first of all, that the thieves aren't the ones that are taking that money. We want to make sure that your funds are protected, and we want to help with that. So if you go to your back office, your Daisy back office, normally where you see the withdrawal link, you'll see a message there, and you'll see a link for the contribution form. And I'm sorry, not the contribution form, the compromised wallet form. So if your wallet has been compromised, fill out that form, and we will be in touch with you to move forward. Even with the contact methodology, we'll use a secure method so that we verify it is in fact you, and all of those details will be coming later. But it'll be an extensive process. We're going to make sure we do it the right way, and we're going to do our best to help everyone in this situation be able to fix this situation. So Edward, Ilya, it was shocking actually to find out how many people this has happened to. I think moving forward, we definitely will need to do a better job of educating people on the security if we're going to be a decentralized community, especially with the next big project that we have coming in August. It's going to be something that the masses get involved with. Many people who've never even had a crypto wallet before will be joining us for this next project. And we got to do a good job of communicating that. So any thoughts that you guys have on that first point?
No, it's good. It's really good that we can help a lot of people. After our announcement, the morning call when we did, I received multiple different messages from different people. Some of them said, I have more than 10 people in my group who's been compromised. It would be, we're so happy. Thank you guys, you know. Just like everything happens for the right reason. This is a perfect timing when we can really change. I can't wait to see how many total will be requests. And
Exactly.
it's gonna take some time, but I'm really curious. And how long it's been going on. That's even like how much money has been literally stolen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jeremy, we need to make it clear, and be very clear on the call also, right? So we couldn't change these wallets before we completed the crowdfunding, right? So some people ask these questions. We knew, Jeremy, Edward, myself, we had those private messages, a lot of private messages from different countries, from Vietnam, from Europe, from Canada, you know, from all over the world, right? From Japan, of course. But what could we do? We could do anything, right? Because it's on smart contracts, we just couldn't change the wallets, right? That's what we said. Even no matter how much we wanted to change it, it's decentralized, it was running, so nothing much we could do about this. But now, since we close the crowdfunding phase, right? So now we have this chance, and we will use this chance, right, to of course get people's access back to their wallets, to their accounts.
Absolutely. So the second topic that we talked about this morning, we're going to go in a lot more detail on, and that is for those members who wish to withdraw their entire amount of funds that are in the live trading, right? And we've had a lot of questions on this. Why can't we withdraw partial, whatever? We're going to have a whole conversation here around all of this because trust us, guys, we had to make some decisions based upon some information that came to us 2 days ago that weren't easy to, and I like the way Daniil said it. We didn't have a choice. It wasn't even a decision. It was literally one of those situations where we have to do things compliantly the right way in this moment, especially in this moment. And we're going to talk that through. But for those individuals who wish to withdraw their remaining USDT that's in live trading right now, you have the opportunity to do so between now and next week, March 8th. Again, simply go to your back office. You'll see another link there that says exit withdrawal. You click that link, read the message. When you click that confirm button, when you click that, then you are submitting your request, and we will be in touch with you. There will be a process as well. We'll talk about that right now, but you will be exiting the Daisy Fund. What does that mean? Well, it means that first of all, your funds will be removed from live trading. So you will no longer have your funds in live trading. It also means that your referral rewards will end. So if you're participating in the referral program in any way, the unilevel bonus or any of the bonus pools, you will no longer have access to that. You are still eligible for your crowdfunding shares in Endotech. And this is important, right? Because of course you were a part of the project. You contributed to the project. And now the project has ended. You're making a choice that you have every right to make to say, hey, I'm going to exit this project now. And of course, you're going to still have your shares in Endotech, right? There's no issue there. The exit. So one big question we had, I guess we didn't talk about this on the call this morning. So one big question we had is when. So when will, if we exit Daisy permanently, when will we receive those funds? And so the only delay, I guess, if you will be the wallets that have been compromised. Before we process that final payout, those final payouts, we have to make sure that we have gone through the process with the compromised wallets for multiple reasons. One, it's going to trigger some payouts for people. Two, we have people who, of course, would request those funds, right? And they would say, hey, I want all of my money back, except it's not their money. It's somebody else's money that they've stolen, right? So we want to protect that. And number three, everything that we do in our processing has to be done through the system, right? It's not like we can take one wallet, go, okay, here's your funds, take another wallet, go, here's your funds. It has to come through the software, it has to come through the smart contracts, it has to be reported and recorded through the system, the automated system that we have in place. So we're going to move as quickly as possible, of course, with those compromised wallets. We'll have a more exact understanding after this week ends, and we know what the situation actually is with those wallets. But that's very, very important to understand that when you exit, you will no longer have access to trading. And I think one of the things we need to address also right now, another quick question that big question that we've gotten is, why can't pre-existing members that withdraw all of their funds now, why can't they recontribute or rejoin when we launch the new fund model? So once we get our licensing, once that's finalized, registration, I guess, I don't know, Daniil, what the legal terms are, but once we get our registration and all of that completed as a fund, when that takes place, at that point, our existing members that are with us will be able to, withdraw and have access, and everything's the same. And they'll be able to withdraw any amount. If you want to withdraw your whole amount, you'll be able to. But the question is, why can't pre-existing members contribute to that fund? I think this would be a good opportunity for Daniil to step in and talk about that, the first phase. And I'll say this before Daniil jumps in, is it's not that you won't ever be able to. Our hope is that you will, of course, right? Like, we would love for every single person in Daisy to be able to contribute to this fund. And there may be a time in the future where the fund is structured in a way that legally allows us to do that. But the initial closed fund, the private fund that we are launching with, it's not a retail fund. It's not a private investment fund. It's not a fund that's taking in new money, right? It's representing the community and this crowdfunding community. It's representing the execution on behalf of that existing community and that existing group of funds. And so we hope, and we have a plan, we're doing everything we can, but it won't be in phase one. It might be a year later, it might be 2 years later, after we launch the closed fund, where those members will be able to contribute as brand new funds to the closed fund. So Daniil, let's throw it to you on this, because this is your area of expertise, and why can't people contribute, or why can't they exit now, take all of their money out now, and then in 1 month or 3 months or 6 months at the latest, when the fund is live, why can't they just bring money back in since their wallet is already in Daisy?
Well, hello everyone. It's hard to jump after Jeremy when he explained everything and quite straightforward, yeah. But the reason is exactly as Jeremy said. So we do not want to have like too long of a time period before we restart the trading in a correct legal way. That means that we are, like, I call it a minimum viable structure, meaning that we're having in place our trading license, we have in place our AI license, and we are doing the community legal structure in a closed manner, meaning that there is no funds coming outside. So we have this community, we take this community, we put it inside a legal structure, and we go from there. And then, and only then, after we restart, we will start the process of opening the fund. But this is like totally different license process. It takes a lot more time. I would say there is no problem to spend the year working on it in order to be compliant, because we have to understand this is a global community. We have tens of jurisdictions, and each and every one of them have their own scrutiny. And in order to have fully opened like investment fund for anyone to come on board, it takes very, very long time and a lot of work. So that's why we're starting with the closed fund model. And that's why we need to know who's in and who's out. And that's as simple as it gets.
And it's even very possible that even the existing members in phase one may not be able to top up the accounts immediately either. There may be a process from being able to open up the withdrawals and give everybody access to those funds, and the time when you're able to actually contribute more funds as well. And so all of those details will be coming in the future. So exactly, I love what you said, Daniil, that right now there's a decision that we have to collect in order to move forward with the fund model. And that decision is, are you in or are you out? We want to keep our promise to the community and give you that opportunity to be out if that's the decision that you make. And that's the reason that we're doing this, because you've asked for it, we've promised it, and we want to deliver on that promise. So Edward, I see that you got something to add there.
Yeah, no, I actually, it got a little bit more clear to me because I didn't know the answer. I just spoke with some leaders and they asked me, but why, like, wouldn't it be better to have an option for people to put it back later when you open? And they go like, well, it makes sense, but I don't know. So, and we talked, and the way Daniil right now explained, in my mind, and I'm going to repeat and correct me, Daniil, if I understood correctly, because I'm still going to be talking to more people. But basically, are you in or are you out? That means we need to know exactly how much or how many wallets, not the wallets, maybe how many people is involved. Is it why? What we're going to have all those questions, and right now I listened and made it clear to me, but I still have a question to myself. So if And I'll put this on. So it's gonna be good. So if we let people coming in again, it doesn't matter that the wallet was there in the smart contract. It has nothing to do with smart contract. Right now, we're talking about
Migration.
say again, ratio
Migration.
Migration.
migration. Okay.
No, we need to know who this fund will be
Ahead of
representing.
time. Like, in other words, the new entity needs to know this is what's coming over, and you can't migrate a zero balance. Basically, it has to be actual active users. You can't migrate.
Clear.
Yeah, and the model, which
I got
is
it.
this legal wrapper, this model, it's not meant to be open to like retail, to anyone who can just find on website and they join. That's not the model of this fund. Such funds also exist, but that's a whole new level. I mean, because we are so international community. This is basically finding the best jurisdiction to have an open fund, and then passporting to each major market we have. And each passporting is a couple months. So
I think it's very clear. It's good that I wanted to talk a little bit more
really
because I kind of understood, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to kind of go over again. It's just I couldn't even ask the question. I didn't know how to ask the question because okay, that's
I remember when we were talking about all this recently, going through like some of the regulations and stuff too. The word placeholder came up. Like, you're not allowed this type of closed fund. You can't enter the fund with a placeholder. In other words, a empty position, right? Here's a placeholder, meaning we're holding a place for someone who can come in later and put money in. That's a different model, right? So anyone that migrates into the new system has to actually be on the books with contributions in order for the audit balance to be accurate. Is that a good way of saying it, Daniil?
well, yeah, I mean, you can say it even easier. I mean, the fund needs to know who it's representing. It's not just some anonymous, like
who and what. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
it doesn't represent a zero balance.
And the termination part, well, I would say that well, this is what you promised. This is a business decision. And we need to do it before we are migrating, because there is no point of migrating and then starting this process.
Okay, awesome.
It doesn't work this way.
Let's segue then into the next topic, and that's those that are in, right? Either you're in or you're out. And if you're out, you have every right to make that decision. It's your decision to make, and we don't have any opinion one way or another what someone should do, right? That's your decision to make, and we're just facilitating it. We hope, we truly hope that most everyone is in, right? We hope that you're in. We hope that you're in for the long run with where we're going as a community and everything we're doing right now. Even in the trading model, we're creating a very big story together. So let's talk a little bit about those that are in. And I'm just going to read this because I wrote this out. I want to make sure we say this accurately. While our legal team completes the process of registration for the new closed fund, your funds will continue to trade and they'll continue to compound. The weekly withdrawals will be disabled until the closed fund model is complete. And Daniil, Edward, you asked Daniil on the call this morning, what's the best case scenario and worst case scenario? And Daniil, you shared with us this morning, the best case scenario is as quickly as 30 days, where that closed fund model is fully completed. The worst case scenario, which is what we've said all along, the worst case scenario will be 6 months. That's why we've always said no later than September of this year, the new fund model will go live. And so what that means is that if you're choosing to stay with us, and we understand there's a lot of people who have been taking those weekly withdrawals, using that money, even to pay bills or whatever it is. We understand that. We absolutely do. We didn't know ahead of time that we weren't going to be able to continue to legally do the weekly withdrawals. And this is the important part of the conversation, because we're not just, we're not saying, oh, we're not paying withdrawals anymore. We're saying, and Daniil, again, we're going to go to you for clarity on this. We're saying that now that the crowd fund is legally over, and we actually had to report that, by the way, in the process of setting up the new fund, we had to go through everything. We had to show all of the books, all of the numbers, all of the balances, all of this. And we even had to show the signed agreement that the crowd fund is officially closed. We're no longer raising money for the crowd fund. Well, that's now known. The regulators that we're working with to get our registration done for the private fund, they know that's all there. What we didn't know until 2 days ago is that we cannot act as a fund. We cannot do what a fund does until that registration is officially completed. We thought that meant we can't bring in new members. So it was our mistake. It was our mistake for not asking the right questions, for not exploring. But some things came up this week, 2 days ago, that we're not going to get into details on what it was. But 2 days ago, we got some very important information that we knew we don't have a choice. We probably should not have paid out withdrawals last week, but we didn't know. And it was the end of the event in Daisy, and all of this was happening. But 2 days ago, we got the information that if we are paying out withdrawals of trading profits, not contribution, not returning your crowdfunding funds, but paying out withdrawals from live trading like a hedge fund would, if we continue to do that outside of the crowdfunding model, we are breaking very important rules, and we are risking the whole future of everything that we're doing. We're putting massive liability on everything that we've worked so hard for, and it was a risk that we just couldn't take. So one of the questions we've gotten a lot is, can we have one more week of withdrawals? We didn't have time to prepare people. We didn't have time to tell people. We hate that. We feel bad for that. We wish it wasn't the case. But Daniil, I'd love for you to jump in and talk about the business decision versus the legal decision and what that looks like in this situation. And so for those that choose to stay, you continue to enjoy the rewards. They will compound as soon as the fund is done and fully registered. In that exact moment, we will be able to turn the withdrawals back on. It might be 1 month, it might be 3 months. It won't be any longer than 6 months at the very latest. We're very confident in that. So Daniil, what's the reason from a legal perspective why we had to make that decision?
Well, this transition was all the way on the roadmap, yeah, and going towards it, we had many discussions with you guys on many different topics, which always there was it's a business decision, but with a legal background, and I mean, almost every decision in this field is also, is it more business or is it more legal? And after ending crowdfunding, there is no way that a community can raise funds, manage funds, get profits without being a licensed financial entity. And that's easy as that. And if you're continuing this activity, considering the amount of funds you have, as I said, it's not the question of if, it's a question of when. And that's not a business decision. Like, I mean, this is a legal decision, and that's the place where I put my foot down, and I'm saying that, guys, this is like so important that you are not doing things not compliant to the regulations. So I understand the people emotions and feelings, and that it was maybe not prepared. Of course, we would like ideally 2 weeks ago on the event to say that, guys, we are ready. give us 2 days, we migrate you and we continue. But that's not how the licensing process works. We are currently on a, I would say, finishing phase. But because the crowdfunding is ended, and also we had to end it, because 3 years ago when we started, there was very, very few crypto regulations, none of the crowdfunding regulations, and now all those regulations are also catching up. And there was no business and no legal point of acquiring a crowdfunding license when it starts to end. You know, we would have like 6 months to a year to acquire a crowdfunding license and then start the fund license. So it's just, let's say, the regulations on the backside caught us faster than we could finalize the fund model.
Yeah, and even more specifically, you know, I guess it was Wednesday, and we've had some previous exposure and contacts from some different entities, if you will. We'll just use that word. I don't want to say too much, but on Wednesday, we just had 2 situations that arose where we said, okay, guys, we sometimes in life you take chances, calculated risks, you do certain things, but sometimes in life you have to really make sure that protection and doing things the right way is the #1 most important thing. And we had to make a decision in the last minute to say, okay, we're not gonna, we can't budge on this. This is what it's going to have to be. And we understand, it's like you said, it was a shock. We know it was a shock. It was a shock to us. We had an emergency call Thursday with all of the top leaders. We call them the Phuket leaders, but we had an emergency call on Thursday that we didn't plan on having. And we had to make this announcement this morning that we did not plan on making because of the information that came to us that triggered this scenario. So we don't want to go into too much details, but just know, guys, we don't have any choice. This is the right way to do it. It is the situation. The great news is this. The great news is for those of you that are in, for those of you that stay, other than the fact that your funds are going to compound instead of having those weekly withdrawals, it's going to be fantastic. The performance fee is being reduced. When we launch the fund model, we're going to use the traditional fund model of a 20% performance fee instead of 30%. Again, this is all part of compliance and regulation. 15% still goes into the rewards plan, but you're going to have 6 full months of compounding. And those of you that are still in, when that 6 months comes and the 6 months performance fee comes, it's going to be a powerful, powerful reward. Right now, we have this insanely exciting project in our hands. We have this, we launched Limitless in Dubai with blockchain sports. Guys, one of the most special projects that we have ever had a chance to be a part of. We only have 6 months in this project. We have 6 months before the founder's opportunity ends and the project goes public, it goes live. And so the momentum that we're seeing right now is extraordinary. And we've got, listen, people are coming on board and joining this movement that have never been a part of what we've done up until now. And they're coming from all around the world. Some of the top leaders that we've ever had the chance to work with are saying, we don't want to miss this one. And without saying too much, I promise you, this is the pre-launch for the biggest thing any of us have ever seen, ever been a part of, that has ever happened in the industry. What we're launching in August in Las Vegas, picture the next 6 months as a pre-build, as a pre-launch, where you get to go out and build really a whole new organization. Our goal is to grow to 539,000 members in the next 6 months. We currently have 240,000. That means that we have to more than double the entire size of this community to reach our goal over the next 6 months. And then you get to bring all of that momentum to the biggest, most explosive announcement that our entire industry has ever seen before. And so for us, it's a decision. For all of us, it should be a decision right now to say, hey, it's not all good news. Wish we could have weekly withdrawals right now, but we don't. However, let's not focus on the bumps in the road. Let's focus on what we have an opportunity to keep doing together right now. And I think if there's one thing we've done, and I'll tell you this, if there's one thing that just, I hate hearing it sometimes, and I think everyone in our community knows that the one thing about Daisy and this project, we're not perfect. We've made plenty of mistakes. We understand all of that. We've had challenges along the way. We've had obstacles along the way. But one thing we are is transparent, and one thing we are is real. This is not a scenario where there's an exit strategy. We heard that today, and it really hurt. It hurt and it angered me a little bit to think, after everything we've been through, do you know how many times we've had to exit? If we want to do an exit, we could have exited after 4 days, for goodness sakes. You don't fight through the challenges that we have fought through as a community. You don't survive and grow and become stronger and deep. We just put 5,000 people in the Coca-Cola arena. It was 500 just a year ago. We did that together. We as founders traveled the world. We pour our hearts, and not just us as founders, every single leader in Daisy that you see wearing that Daisy ring, that you see standing on that stage, that you see on those webinars, they have the heart and the passion of this movement, of this project, to decentralize parts of the world that right now are limited because of centralization, to bring a fresh energy to this industry. We're not in this to make money. We're all past the money. This is not about money. This is not about exiting. We don't live that way. We don't think that way. This is about purpose. This is about a movement. This is about creating and doing something that has never, ever, I'm going to cry and get so passionate right now, something that has never been done before. Because we have a world out there that's longing for the real. We have an industry that many of us have come from that's messed up. It's built on lies. It's built on fear. It's built on manipulation. And while we're not perfect, we started this vision, and the leaders that launched this project with us came together and are still standing with us here today because we have a united heart and a united mission. And that is to do something that's never been done, to impact lives and impact the world and help people make money and help set people free in a way that the world has never seen before. And so we didn't come through all of these challenges to exit. There is no such thing as exit. Here's the day we exit. The day I die is the day I exit. That's my exit strategy. That's it. We are building together and doing life together, whether it's Daisy, whether it's Limitless, we'll evolve, we'll grow, but together as a community, we have the same heart and we have the same mission. So that's one thing I can promise you, absolutely promise you. There is nothing going on except what we're telling you here today. This is the situation we're in. This is the moment we're in. If you want to exit, exit. It's your choice, and you can still participate in Limitless. You can still participate in what's coming next, but we have a whole community of people who've built in the Daisy model, and we hope that the majority of you will stay. We hope that you will continue to be a part of that incredible model that we've put together moving forward. So that's it for me, Edward, Ilya. I'll throw it over to you.
Jeremy, you got me.
You made me cry,
Now
Jeremy. Now it was my turn to cry. Like, really, you cannot see it behind my glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same.
You took all my words.
I know it feels exactly the same. Yes,
Yeah.
we all feel exactly the same. And Jeremy, talking about what we have now in our hands, talking about Limitless, right? For those people, obviously, some people, they rely on those weekly payouts, right? We do get it. We do understand it, right? Because we've been there. We've seen so many things happening, right? So we understand that some people, they cannot manage their like financials properly, maybe, right? So they mismanage on some part, right? So they over-rely on some part, right? But what we have together in Limitless, with such a powerful rewards plan, with such a powerful concept that the world has never seen before. Now it's a time for us to actually come together as a community, as leaders, and build it. Because we have, I don't know, we have nuclear bomb, like Dima says, right, in our hands. And this is time for us to build. This is not time for us to complain, to cry that weekly withdrawals not available whatsoever, right? So we explaining like the truth, basically what's happening, right? So now it's time for us to move on. And we know that leaders, the Phuket leaders, we made a call yesterday specifically with those leaders, right? So we 100% united now as a community, and it's just a bump, Jeremy, just like you say, it's just a bump, big bump on the road, and we cannot lose our focus because of the bump, because we should focus on destination, not on the bump.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, guys, I forgot to hit record. I'm just kidding.
It is fine.
I remember, I knew you were joking because I remember I had to push the thing to go away from my screen. But you know what? Talking about the challenge and everything,
So true.
I already see why this is happening, how much more stronger. We are preparing for something big for the next. This is big, limitless. And then with blockchain, right? And then there's a few cherries Dima shared with us yesterday, right? But coming into August, coming to Las Vegas event and what's going to be happening, we're going to have the most powerful and the trust level. I think after this, I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be maybe it's not going to be 3 months. Maybe it's going to be shorter, right? But after that, if not, I mean, I can't even say how can you not trust anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell you the biggest power for me today, I think Edward and Ilya, you guys will agree with this, but the core leaders that have led this movement, the messages, the calls, the leadership that we have seen from them. I mean, it brought so much strength, because this was not easy for the three of us. I can very transparently say that this morning's call and the call yesterday with the top leaders was the most difficult moment and process that I have had to go through in the last 3 years as a man, as a leader. It triggered every fear and insecurity. And I got to tell you that the people ask all the time, friends of mine that are in the industry that own companies or whatever, man, how did you guys do what you've done? And my answer is always the same. It's because we have attracted the most amazing foundation core group of leaders that I've ever had the privilege to work with in this industry. And these amazing leaders, they're getting hundreds of calls. They're getting people yelling at them. They're getting people threatening lawsuits. They're dealing with all of this stuff on their shoulders. And they're reaching out to us saying, we are standing with this vision. That's one of the reasons we said, we got to do this call. We got to do a better job of delivering the message. But one thing that I shared today with those leaders, and I want everyone in the community to hear this, because I want you to decide what category you're in. But I told them this morning that sometimes the loudest people is not where you're. Sometimes we put our energy towards the loudest people, the people that complain the most, that make the most noise, that threaten the most, whatever. But sometimes most of the time, the people that are doing that also have I want to use the right word, the lowest level of personal development and mindset. These are people who are triggered by every emergency that happens in their life. Every little thing becomes a tragedy. They're literally being pulled to and from, like, being tossed by the waves, like the Bible says, tossed to and fro, because this happens, and this happens, and they react and they react and they react. We didn't get to where we are today by being reactors, by being reactive. We got to where we are today by being proactive. And my challenge to every one of you, every member of the community, is to say, hey, are you a visionary, proactive leader where you say, I'm going to control what I think about? I'm going to choose and control the words that come out of my mouth. And I'm going to be the one that dictates the energy that I walk in as a human. Or are you the kind of person who lets a situation control your thoughts? You let a situation control the words that come out of your mouth. And you let the situation dictate what your energy is. And if you have love and respect for the leaders that you've been working with in this project, be one of the lights in this moment. Be one of the ones who say, hey, here we go again. We got a small bump in the road, but what we have our hands on is so big that I'm going to focus on what we can control. I'm going to focus on what is in our hands right now. And we go to work and we build and we bring that energy to the world. And here's what's going to be great. In a matter of whatever it is, if it's best case scenario 1 month or it's the worst case scenario 6 months, when everything's open back up and the withdrawals are happening and everything's happening, once again, we'll say, I told you so. You remember the I told you so events, and everyone goes, oh my God, we've been worried about nothing. We've been distracted by nothing. And some people are going to look back and go, I just lost maybe the most powerful 6-month opportunity that I ever had in my life. And I was walking over dollar bills to pick up the pennies, right? I was walking over the big opportunity because I let the small bump in the road, the small challenge, become the big thing for me and miss out on the opportunity. And then there's going to be the other group of people, which is going to be most of us together, who say, you know what? We're going to focus on what we have right now, and we're going to go all in, and we're going to create the biggest momentum we've ever created. Last thing I'll say is this, Edward, you and I talked about this today, is sometimes things happen. You always say this, everything happens for a reason, for the right reason. Sometimes challenges happen because there's people in the environment that are no longer supposed to be in our environment. Sometimes life will bring a challenge to you in order to remove a toxic person from your life, in order to remove somebody that's not in alignment with where you are going. And I've heard it said before that sometimes the people that got you to where you are not the people, the same people that are going to get you to where you are going. And I want to say that to every one of you. If the challenges along the way in this project have caused people to leave or no longer be plugged in, it's okay. It's all right. They were meant to be there for a season. They were there for a season. The ones who are meant to be a part of what we're doing now, what we're doing next, and where we're going, they're going to be here. And the ones that are not meant to be here, it's okay. They can go to their back office right now. They can withdraw it. Look, withdrawing doesn't mean they're leaving the community. Some people just need to withdraw. Fantastic. You do what you need to do. It's awesome. But I'm talking about the energy, the negative people. Sometimes that negative energy needs to be removed. And sometimes the challenges happen so that those people can have the opportunity to remove themselves from the picture.
Jeremy, I have nothing else to add. You said it perfectly. Perfectly, very straight. All I was sitting and saying yes, yes, and yes.
Awesome.
100%.
But maybe our lawyer can say something.
Not after that.
No, after that. Okay.
Well, not a lawyer opinion, but I mean, maybe really people got a little bit too comfortable. I mean, actually, the last, I would say, 3-4 months, it was in a stage where it wasn't a roadmap to be like, it's almost like a ready product, but it's actually not. It's actually not. So there is, I would say, with the full honesty, there is no one have a right to have this expectation that that is already like ready done deal. The crowdfunding is over, Endotech has succeeded, and we're enjoying the fruits. Guys, no. I would say in the long term, we are maybe on the end of the first third of a whole journey with the Endotech. We need to start the fund. We need to engage fully Endotech. We need to like build strategy for Endotech to make an, I don't know, like larger exit or something. Like we're just like starting. So there is like no expectation for some kind of comfort zone.
I love it. And you know, Danielle, Edward, you have to jump in, and I'm gonna
yeah,
because Danielle, when you said comfort zone, there are so many people who got comfortable who have been doing nothing. And boy, I'll tell you, let this be a challenge to you. We want you to have passive income. But when passive income causes you to become a passive person, ooh, that's good. Edward, that's good. When your passive income, when you're lazy money, we want you to have lazy money. We want you to have passive income. But when you're lazy money, when you make just enough passive income to be comfortable, and all of a sudden we go, oh, I'm just going to do nothing now. It shows where your mindset, it shows that you had a thermostat set to a certain financial temperature. And once you were making that $2,000 a month every single month, all of a sudden we stopped working, right? So you know what's neat about this is it's going to actually push a lot of people to say, okay, for the next 6 months, we've got some work to do if we want to continue to see the type of income. And then imagine what happens in 6 months, it multiplies. Edward, you got to share what you shared with me, a little bit of that text that you got, and because that was a really that was a
It was actually, yeah, Ilya got it, and Ilya forwarded it to me, and I was reading, and I read it like 3 times over, and I called Ilya. I said, where is this coming from? What is this person talking about? It was basically the message came from one of his pace setters. I mean, our pace setters, but he's his friend, I guess, right?
And this was
And
several days ago. So this was
yes, exactly, several days ago, and he was analyzing the blockchain sports. He was asking for materials or could provide more stuff. Do you hear the baby? I don't know. Is it too loud? No, sorry.
No, baby.
Amazing microphone I have. I like it. I've been putting it on mute. It's just all sudden. Anyway, so and a person was analyzing blockchain sports, the material he needs, and then I guess he was relying on his team and his group, saying he said it something in this words because he was saying in a different language, and I'm gonna try to translate. But he said people are getting. I feel like it would help if there's a way to pause or something that he didn't use the pause word, like stop temporarily Daisy, so people would get out from the comfort zone and go ahead and build, because what we have is big, but they're too comfortable. They don't want to go in and start building it. And it was like a light went on. I go like, whoa, this is like, where are you coming from? Oh, this is like a, and I called you right away and said, I got to share this with you. And anyway,
crazy.
so
this is
because
powerful.
we
Because
already knew we were going to be having this call with the leaders, right?
yeah, this is right. This is right when we scheduled the call and everything. That's why I called Ilya, and I go
And we
to
were
Ilya.
struggling. We were having such a, we were talking, going, man, this is going to be the hardest call we've ever had. And we're talking to Daniil going, is there any way we can not do this? And is there any way, like it was so hard. And then that message came in, and it was like a sign. It was like, I mean, come on, really? Have you ever gotten a message from a community member going, hey, is there any way you guys can stop withdrawals? Like, it was so crazy.
That's why I called Ilya, and I was thinking, like, we didn't even talk to leaders yet. Who is this guy? Like, I'm thinking, like, why are you telling, like, what we just had this conversation? We just found out this ourselves. So that same day, this message.
No, but Jeremy, you're absolutely right. So last thing is for us, last thing that we want this community to be a community of lazy and passive people. And Daniil, I think because you've been with us, right? You know our community, you've been to our events, you know that we have the best leadership in the field. But at the same time, unfortunately, we have a lot of people who don't do anything, which is okay. They don't need to do anything, right? It's their total right, of course. But those people, because of this passive income that they're getting from Daisy up until today, they became more passive and more lazy, even than before, right? And then when we introduce limitless, what many people would do is just basically taking money from Daisy and put money into limitless, right? So people, they think that, moving funds from one basket to another basket will help them to multiply their capital for some reason. I don't know why. So I think, Jeremy, I really love your analogy, right? So what you just said, I really love it. I think it's like it's really happening in our community. And this is why it's very important for us. And we decided from day one, when we launched Limitless, even before, we decided we need, and this is what we're doing, to bring new blood to the project, right? We need to, because we don't see how we can hit our target, right? And the target is very, very big, right, Jeremy? It's more than 500,000 members. We cannot hit this target if we only do this within Daisy community, existing members, right? It's not possible. We don't have 500,000 people. Obviously, we need to step out of comfort zone, including ourselves, right? 3 of us. And we are very excited. So for us, it's very easy, obviously, right? Because, I mean, we are so pumped up, so excited about Limitless.
It's exciting to do it, actually.
It's exciting to do it. It's so exciting. I mean, it's impossible not to share. It's impossible not to share.
It's the best. It's honestly the best. I love our first project, but this story is so much bigger. It's so much easier. It's so much more relevant.
I landed back from Dubai, and going through security and immigration, And that person's asked me, business or pleasure? Business. What are you traveling for? Well, but business. I tell them all about the business. So easy. I talk about blockchain sports. I tell them about sports, and the guy's looking at me. He's like, "Oh, wow, it's exciting." I mean, it's not me. Go ahead and talk to people like random, but it's so easy.
I've got people that are reaching out to me. I got a call yesterday. I'll give you an example. One of my best friends in the world. He's been a part of Daisy from the very beginning. He's done very, very well. He said, "I feel like I'm brand new in this industry." He said, "I feel like I did 20 years ago when I first learned about network marketing." He's already sponsored 100 personal referrals. Brand new,
Oh, wow.
brand new
Wow.
people. Already
Wow.
100. He's doing webinar after webinar, present. I mean, he's in beast mode right now. He even created a system, a 3-step system for his team. I'm like, man, that reminds me of like our old original days in network marketing where we had like a 3-step system, you know? And same with us as leaders. I've got people flying in. We've got people doing meetings. Avinash called me. He goes, "Bro, we're launching Latin America. We've got new countries that we're launching." Like, guys, this is exactly what you said, Helia. The most important thing right now is don't get comfortable with your existing organization. Some of them are going to keep running them with you. Some of them are not. But if we will all realize what we have in our hands and use this as an opportunity to bring and share with new people who've never been a part of this community before, here's what I'm telling you. You'll make more money in the next 6 months than you've probably ever made in any 6-month period. But more importantly, what's going to happen in August, because you're setting the example for your team, you're going to have this momentum, and you bring that momentum to the event in August in Las Vegas, you could set yourself up for the rest of your life by going out in the next 6 months. Pretend like you don't even have a team. Pretend like your pre-existing organization isn't even there. The ones that want to follow you will follow you. The ones that want to build something will build. But don't waste your time putting out fires and dealing with complainers and this and that. Focus your energy on going out and building, giving birth to a new energy, a new power in your organization through personal recruiting, launching new people in this business. We have CEOs of companies, CEOs of other direct sales, I can't say who or what, who have joined, who came in at the $100,000 tiers.
Jeremy,
they're bringing leaders and launching leaders. It's incredible.
Jeremy, we have presidents of the countries supporting the project. So what
Yes.
we're talking about? I
Yes.
mean, this is something that has never happened in the industry. I've been 15 years. I've never seen anything even close to what we have right now.
It's true.
Guys, we got too excited and
sorry, we kind of like changed the topic. Yes,
it's a correct direction. That's where it's supposed to go. But Daniil touched something. He said we're just starting something, and we are actually going back to Daisy, going back to font. We're just starting. This is the transition of the start. This is the beginning. This is not. You were talking about like we heard today, exit strategy or something.
Yeah.
It's a starting strategy. We just start. We're just the beginning. We're in a process of all this licensing, pulling and everything. That's the starting right now. So we are very close to start. Everything what we did before this 3 years, we were pre-building to start. Because originally I was thinking we'll just start hedge fund and go on and then one by one get to, but we made something with your Jeremy amazing, crazy idea, you know, with a crowdfunding model. I remember calling Ilya and telling him we're not doing, we're not doing hedge fund, we're doing crowdfunding. Anyway, but it's literally Daniil, you just remind. I mean, this is how I always, but when you said it, we're just starting. We're at the beginning. So people, I mean, it's sometimes when you start it, it's not in your hands. What's not in your hand, you do what you do. There's a book, Art Williams, I think I have it somewhere. It says, what's the name?
All you can do.
All you can do is all you can do.
Yeah,
all you can do is enough. That book, yeah, it's somewhere here. It's that's what it is. If we, it's not in our ability to proceed. This is the law, and we have to, you know, we've been told, and it happened like that. So
I love it.
Anyway, I think this call
Let's
went
rock and
very
roll.
long, but it was very
Yeah.
Jeremy, from your heart. I mean, you. I was gonna say, are you a preacher? Are you? I don't know, like, but the way you put everything in.
I felt like Jeremy is back on the stage. That's what I felt.
That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm really excited for August because I feel like, a lot of ways we've been very limited in what we can do as leaders.
Of course.
And
course.
with
Yeah.
our next project, we're going to be able to be truly global. We're going to disrupt in a major way. There'll be two groups of people, those that say, I'm glad I did, and those that say, I wish I did. And the glad I did group are the ones that take action now and start this pre-run over the next 6 months. Engage and build with us. Do all you can do. The other group are those that say, I'm not going to do all I can do. And you're going to wish you did. When you hear about what we announced in Vegas, you're going to say, oh my goodness, I wish that I was engaged these 6 months. So guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Looking forward to our regional events. We'll have a lot more information coming out. I don't know when this video will get out. We have a Latin American call tomorrow with live translation. So I'm looking forward to that for Blockchain Sports, and a lot of great things happening. So stay plugged in with your leaders. Your leaders are plugged in with us on a very personal level, and stay plugged in with your leaders because they're flying to the moon. Their wings are spread and they are flying. And you just get in that wind draft, get around that fire, and bring some fire to them, right? Bring that fire to them. Be one of the people that says, hey, I'm not going to be a light dimmer. I'm not going to turn the lights down when I walk in a room and make it lower. I'm going to be a light brightener. I'm going to walk into your life. When I call you, when I text you, we got leaders that when I see their text, I get excited because they bring power and energy. Doesn't mean they always say what we want to hear. They tell us the truth. They share their honest opinions, but their energy is aligned with the power of creation. We're creating something together, and I love it. So get plugged in with your leaders. If you're that kind of a person, get plugged in with your leaders. We're going to do something really special together this year. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to everybody soon.